As far as I can go, rest assured the wind will lead me far from home. Let's sail this world, the water beneath me is so clean, is so neat, is so pristine, splashing over me. Let's sail this world,
the channel, thank you so much for being here today. Happy Sunday morning to you. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far. And I pray the weather is better by you than it is here by me. My goodness. I am in Northern Illinois, a southwest suburb of Chicago, and it has been cold. It has been in the single digits a lot of this week, single or double digits a lot of this week. And then yesterday it rained all day long. Like from the time I got up until the time I went to bed, and even probably beyond that, it was just raining all day long. So winter is coming. It is showing its ugly head, but that's okay. We will get through it. Thank you again for joining me this morning. Welcome back again. I'm sorry that we had to take a couple of weeks of hiatus there. I had taken the week of Thanksgiving off to spend time with my family. And then the next weekend, I wasn't really sick, but I wasn't myself either. And you know, and I've always told you guys before that I'm not on this channel to fake it. Like, if I'm not up to it, or I'm not feeling well, or things like that are happening, then I'm going to take the day off. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. So I hope you guys had a good weekend. I hope you filled it with fun, entertaining things. As you can see, I've got a couple of little decorations here for Christmas. This is a new thing to the channel, is this cute little Christmas tree. I absolutely love it. I found it on Facebook, I think, somewhere, but it's just a little tinsel tree, and it's just a little pop-up tinsel tree, but I thought it was perfect for the space, and I absolutely love it. And I love the little twinkly lights. I think it's going to add a little something extra special for it. So it was a little pricey, it's a little expensive, but it's okay. We'll be able to reuse it again and again, so it's lots of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying that. It is a little bit of a distraction though, so if it's too much with the twinkle, I can just turn it on a solid color if that's going to bother you guys. So you just let me know in the chat if the twinkle is okay, or if you prefer something solid, or if the lights are just too much altogether, I can turn them off as well. So you guys tell me, because this is as much your treat as it is mine. I like the twinkle lights, but I can understand on the camera it might be a little weird. So if it's too much, you just let me know. Just a reminder, as always, we do have some merch if you guys are thinking about Christmas gifts for that quilty friend of yours. We do have some merch that's available. Just do ! merch in chat. I've talked again to Mama Joyce and Sherlock Cheryl, and they are just raving about the quality of the sweatshirts that they purchased for the channel. They said they wash really well, they're super fuzzy on the inside, they're warm and cozy. So it's becoming that time of the year, so if you guys are sweatshirt kind of people, definitely check those out. I hear the quality on them is just fantastic. We also have some t-shirts, some tank tops, drawstring bags. Of course, we have our coffee mugs. We have some water bottles as well if you're interested in any of that. So check that out if you're so inclined to do so. If not, it's okay. We completely understand. Also, just a really quick announcement, I guess, is probably the best word. If you are a member of the channel, you are expecting a box from me here in December, and I know that, and you'll get one. There's a little bit of a delay with getting some of the materials that I need to do the mailing. There's a little bit of a delay. I'm getting them from a friend of mine at a discount, so I'm trying to, you know, take the advantage of discounts where I can. So I said you guys were going to get your boxes in the beginning of December, hopefully by Christmas, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen because I'm not going to get your boxes until Christmas. So you'll probably get those either at the end of this month or right after the first of the year. So you'll expect to see those. But what that means for everyone else is that if you're not already a member of the channel, I am extending the deadline. Originally, I had it through the end of November if you wanted to get your very first box. But I'm going to extend the deadline that if you want to be one of the ones that gets a scrap busting box from me, you will need to be a member by the end of December. So by December 31st, if you are a member of this channel, you will receive a scrap box from me in January. Normally, I require 3 months, so then that way it pays for the postage, but I'm feeling a little extra giving. So if you're interested in doing that, make sure you click the button down below that says, I think it says join. Check that out a little bit. And the least expensive option, I think, is $2.99 a month. Normally I require that you be a member for at least 3 months before you get your first box, but because this is all kind of new and exciting and fun, I'm extending the deadline just till the end of December. So you only have to be a member for 1 month in order to get your first box, and then of course you could cancel if you wanted to, or you can stay a member and receive another box from me throughout the year. I'm going to do at least 2 boxes a year, maybe more. The boxes are 8 by 8 by 4. So if you guys are interested, they're 8 this way by 8 this way by 4 this way, and they're going to be stuffed full of fabric scrap pieces. These are going to be yardage pieces. These are going to be extra fat quarter pieces, maybe some charm squares, maybe some jelly roll strips, whatever I've got that is left over from these projects and more, sitting right here. You're going to get pieces from it. I'm going to try and coordinate the fabric colors as much as I can. Some of it is going to be little tiny cuts, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty big pieces. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you check that out. Hang on. So one of the things I wanted to point out really quickly, and I have not had the opportunity to do it before, and I want to kind of show it to you guys really quickly before we get into today's projects. This is half this pile here, and it's kind of hard to see. It's a little far forward, so you guys can't really see it. But this right here, this is half of the projects that we have finished this year. This is only half of them. Like, look at this. There's 4 full-size quilts here. I have 3 more that are at the long arm. I gave one away earlier in the year, so there's 8 full-size projects that we have finished this year. I can't believe it. And then I have made, I think, 3 table runners, and we're going to be finishing up another one here hopefully before the end of the year. So I cannot believe I cannot believe how many projects we have finished this year. It's just absolutely unbelievable. So I wanted to show you guys these really quickly because a couple of these are actually going into boxes because they're being gifted for Christmas. So I wanted to make sure that you guys got a chance to see a little bit of the fruits of our labor from this year before I put them away. So I'm going to spend a couple minutes and I'm going to show you guys that. Is my cotton cuts here? No, cotton cuts is not in here. No, not yet. Those are the ones that are at the long arm, although Mom's one is finished. I'm actually supposed to be picking that up either today or next weekend. So that one is finished. You guys will see that one again soon. I can't say exactly when yet, but you will see that one soon. But no, the cotton cuts ones are not done yet. Not yet. But those are the next ones up for sure. So, all right. You've been sewing up a storm. Did you get binding done too? Kelly, Maria, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for being a subscriber of the channel. We really appreciate that. A subscriber doesn't necessarily get you into the scrap box, but I appreciate you being a subscriber as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to the channel. Unfortunately, you do have to wait about an hour to join this chat, but that's okay. That's okay. The question was, did I get the binding done? I got the binding done on 3 of the 4. So this one here does not have binding done. It's still raw edges. And I'll show you guys that one in a minute, but the other 3 are done. And we'll show you those. So I'm going to pull those out for you in just a minute. I'm so distracted this morning. It's so crazy. All right, let me take a sip here. Then I'm going to hop into chat. Okay, this is how we're going to do this. I'm taking a sip. I'm going to hop into chat. I'm going to say hello to everybody that's in chat because I keep missing people. Then we're going to look at these projects, and then we're going to start on what we're working on today. So we got a lot to do. So give me just a second here. Yum, yum, yum. All right. So let me flip camera so you guys can see, because I tried to do this once already, and you guys can't see the quilting. So let's go through these really quickly. So this first one that's on the top, this was our Home Sweet Home project. Now I'm not going to unfold the whole thing because they're big and bulky and they really need to be refolded again. But what I will do is I will just kind of lift it up for you so you guys can kind of jog your memory as to what it was. This is the backing, and I'll show you the quilting pattern in just a second. But this is the actual block here. Remember this one? Everybody remembers this one? Yep, so this one is done. It does still need binding. I'm going to be using the same fabric on the backing that I use in the binding. But let me turn this camera on. This is my zoom camera. Let me turn that on so you guys can kind of see a little bit better what's going on. So give me just a sec here. Voila! It's like magic. Let me show you the quilting on this one. This one is just so cool. Check that out. I'm going to move this just a little bit. I hope I don't make anybody dizzy. There we go. Check that out. It's a big, huge stars. It's a big star, and then there's little stars over here, and then there's circles. But look at that. Isn't that amazing? I absolutely love it. I love the quilting, and you guys can kind of see a little bit better the backing fabric. It's got all these beautiful patriotic sayings that are in multi-tone reds on the backing. I just absolutely love it. So that's awesome. You know what? I've skipped a step. I told you guys I was going to go through chat before I showed you this. I was so excited to show you this. I skipped through chat. Let me go back into the chat and say hello to everybody there. I know, I believe Brad46 was the very first person in chat this morning. So thank you, Brad46, for being here. I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for usually being the first one in chat. You and Linda Denton, who was also here this morning. So thank you so much for that. From both of you, I really appreciate it. Kathy, good morning. It is so great to see you. Welcome back to the channel. Susan says good morning. Good morning, Susan. So great to see you. Root Judy, hello. Happy Sunday morning to you. I hope you're well. Let's see. La 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 la. La 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 la. I'm just looking through the chat. I said good morning. Melina, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me. Hi, Terry. I said hi to you already, but good morning again. It's so great to see you. Melissa, hello. Welcome to the channel. It's so great to see you. Happy Sunday morning to you also. Kelly, good morning. Thanks so much for being here. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you. You'll have to let us know what you were up to. I hope everything is well with you and your family. Let's see. Melina, Terry, good morning. Melissa. Scrolling through. Sorry, guys. Naomi, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. It's so great to see you. Good morning. Gladys is here. Good morning, Gladys from the Confident Quilter. So good to see you also. Terry, Kelly. Yes, you've been sewing up a storm. I have. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Welcome again to Maria. That's where I'm at. Is Wild West over? No, Terry. No. Wild West is not over. We work on Wild West once a month with Lucas, and he will be back again for Wild West, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that one might actually be scheduled for this week. I'm going to have to double check. He's been traveling for his job, so I've kind of had to work around his schedule a little bit. So we are a little bit behind of everybody else. But no, Wild West is absolutely still going on. In fact, I think I have the clue in my briefcase. My work briefcase. I think that's where the clue is. So yeah, we're still working on that. I think the next one that's coming up is this week. I don't know. Check the channel. It's on the calendar. I think it is this week. I think it's this week's Wednesday. Lorraine, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. It's so great to see you again. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you. I hope you're well. Hope everything is going great. Sandra, good morning. Thanks so much for being here. Patricia, hello. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here as well. I think I'm all caught up now. If I've missed you, I do apologize. I hate it when I do that. So if I did miss you and I didn't say hello to you, please say hello to me again in chat. If you haven't already, you can also tag me by doing the @ symbol. That's the A with the circle around it. You can do that and then type in "So Not an Expert" and it actually highlights it on my screen, so then that way I can't miss it. So thank you again. But now back to quilting, because I was just so excited to show you guys what it looks like. So this is what this one looks like. It's absolutely beautiful. You guys saw the block. Is that home block. So this one is almost done. I consider the top, when the top is done and it's quilted, I consider it done, even if I haven't done the binding yet, because the binding, it's coming. Like this one will be done in a couple of weeks. I had to get some Christmas stuff done first, but that one will be done. So this one was our Tiffany project. You guys might remember this one. It was really simple and easy. It was basically just a bunch of squares. It was like a brick pattern almost, and we put that one together. This one was our Tiffany project, and you can see that the binding has been done on that. I did the gray binding and backing for this one. And the quilting pattern on this one is actually kind of tricky to see because it really blends in very well. So I'm going to try and find the dark fabric so you can kind of see it a little bit. But it's a square pattern, so it kind of does this like really cool like maze. It kind of reminds me like of a maze, like the you know, like a maze. Like you're kind of following it to try and figure out where it ends and where it starts. So there's like square boxes all over the place, and they look kind of random, but you just kind of keep following it around. So that one is really, really cool. But this one is all done, and it completely blends in with the backing on the back. You can't even see it at all. So she did a fantastic job with this. I really like this one. This one is going to be a Christmas gift. My daughter is giving that one away. And then, of course, you guys remember this one. This one was Man Cave Rules. We just finished this one a couple weeks ago. She turned this one around super quick, and I am so happy with it. I did go with the flannel backing like I told you guys I was going to. And it is amazing. Like, I cannot believe the difference that flannel backing makes. So if you're thinking about doing a flannel backing on a quilt, I highly recommend it. It made such a difference with this quilt. It is such a different feel between these all cotton quilts and this one. It's just completely different. So I love it. I think it turned out exactly the way I needed it and wanted it to. But let me show you the quilting on this one. This one is also a square quilting as well, but it's a bit different. Let me see if I can. I'm going to move the camera again. I hope I don't make anybody dizzy. There you go. You guys can kind of see the square here. It does this like zigzag thing. Kind of see it there along the darker fabric, and I think it almost blends in seamlessly into the backing. Like, you really can't see it very much at all, which is kind of what you want from a quilt pattern. You want it to show but not take over from the design. So that's kind of why we chose this one. I think it works out beautifully. It blends in 100% on these pieces here, and you see it just gently on these black pieces, these darker brown and gray pieces here. So that one is all done and ready to go. That one is also being boxed up and getting ready to go, and I saved the best for last. I'm going to actually open this one up so you guys can see it, because this one was the labor of love. This right here is our Tropics project. If you have been following the channel for a while, then you know the Tropics project was my kryptonite. It is not a difficult pattern. It is not. It was a Cozy Quilts design pattern, and for some reason I just could not wrap my brain around it. It just would not go together to save my life. It took forever for me to get this one to go together, but it is finally together. I'm going to open it up and show you guys what this one looks like, because it's absolutely beautiful. It turned out so much better than my expectations. You guys can see the binding is done. I ended up using the same fabric for the binding as I did for the border, so that way it blends in entirely. Let me show you guys. It's hard to see because it does blend in so well, but I'm going to try to show you the quilting pattern on this. Wait till you see it. It is. I hope I can show it to you, because it's so beautiful. Like, here's a flower. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera or not, but there's a flower here. Ooh, that way. There's one of the flowers, and it's flowers and leaves. It's absolutely beautiful. It blends in seamlessly. They're just gorgeous. There's two different types of flowers. So this is the bigger one, and then there's a smaller one. There's a bunch of leaves in here and vines, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So let me open this one up real quick so you guys can see, because this one was my kryptonite. Like, this one took, I think we figured out it was 14 live streams to put this one together, because it just took forever. Like, I had to keep taking it apart and putting it back together. So I'm so glad that it is done. It is going in a box and is being gifted. It's leaving my house, but it is one of the ones that I am the most proud of. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favorite, but it's definitely one of the ones that I am the most proud of finishing this year. So I'm just going to open up half of it so you guys can see it, but check this out. Like, let me turn off the zoom camera again. Hold on. Pack it up and get it out. That is exactly right. Like, done, done, done. But this is it. There it is, guys. I got a lot. I brought this one into my office at work to show off, and I got just a ton of compliments for it, because it was really a lot of fun. So this one is done. In fact, there's a box just on the other side of the camera that it's going into, and hopefully I won't see it again. Because it's going to a family member's home that I don't really visit as often as I probably should. But yeah, so it's the one that I am the most proud of this year, but not necessarily my favorite for this year. Just because it was a labor of love, y'all, because it just took forever. You guys remember all the struggles we went through with it. If you don't remember them, I've got an entire playlist of all of the live streams from it. Feel free to go back and watch it if you want. It was a frustrating one for sure. So that's one of the ones I'm the most proud of. Somebody says bye to Kelly. So Kelly, thank you so much. She said she's gotta go. No problem. Thanks so much for hanging out with us for a few minutes, even if it was only for a few minutes. We appreciate that. You can check the live stream later. Hi Dawn, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. We're just going through a couple of quick projects and then we're going to get started with today. So let me go ahead and move these. So those are some of, like I said, those are half of the projects that we finished this year. I will have the other ones for you. I will have 3 more for you guys to show you guys when they come back from the long arm. Probably not until after the first of the year. And then there were 2 more that we finished way in the beginning of the year that I've already gifted off. So unfortunately I don't have those anymore. But I'm just floored with the amount of projects that we've been through this year. Just like, we broke a record. I cannot believe how many we've gone through. So let me go ahead and pile these up and put them just off camera so they're kind of out of the way. And then I'm going to show you what we're working on for today. Because, you know, we got stuff to do today besides, you know, hanging out and chilling. So let me grab these. It's kind of heavy to grab all 3 at the same, or all 4 at the same time. They're a little heavy, but let me put these off camera. Hang on. Okay. All right. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on a table runner. You guys know we finished a couple of table runners so far this year. This is a winter one. It is one that I started back when I was doing my quilting. I started it on my quilting retreat 2 or 3 years ago. I finished the top and then I kind of put it away in my stuff here, and I'm pulling it out now because I'd like to finish it up. One of our goals for this year was to finish up at least 4 of our whips and UFOs. This will be our 4th one. So if we can finish this one up before the end of the year, then we will have met all of our goals. So I'm really excited about that. So let me show it to you. I've already got it sandwiched up. Now the description of this video may say something to the land of me showing you how to sandwich it up and me showing you how to piece up extra pieces of batting. I forgot that I had put that in the description and I went ahead and did it on my own. I went a little rogue and did it on my own, and so I kind of forgot to do that on camera. So we'll do it again soon. It'll happen again soon, so I'll show you how to do it then. But for right now, this one is already sandwiched and already pieced up together. So it's 3 pieces of batting that I had left over in my stash, and I went ahead and sewed them up together. I can show you how I did it. But we'll actually... Hi Katie, good morning, welcome back to the channel. I'll actually show you what it looks like when it's pieced up together. So let me flip the camera again real quick. I'll turn the zoom camera on one more time. I don't know what's wrong with the lighting on this one, but you can kind of see it here. Here's 2 pieces of batting. Come on, zoom camera. It's the lighting, like, it's terrible. I'm trying. Here guys, that's probably the best I'm gonna get done. But I took a zigzag stitch and I basically put the 2 pieces together right up next to each other, and I zigzagged them across to secure them up together. You would think that the zigzag kind of adds a little extra texture underneath, and I guess it adds a little bit, so I could have went a little wider on the zigzag, but I feel like once it's on your table, you're really not going to notice it all that much, and unless you know where to feel for it, you're not really going to feel like fracking batting. That's what it's called. Yes. So that's what we did, is we zigzagged it up together. There's actually 3 pieces in here, so there's another seam somewhere. I'm just not entirely certain where that other seam is at. Excuse me. I know that's like down here somewhere. Maybe that's not this one. Maybe that's the other one. I don't know. I was putting a bunch of pieces together, making stuff. So, oh, this batting is kind of bulky there. I just noticed there's like a little bit of bulk in the batting here, so I'll have to smooth that out. So, but this is, let me show you what the quilt top looks like. I'm going to flip that off. We don't need that anymore. It just distracts me. Alright. Terry says, how do we give thimbles away? Terry, you can try doing give as the command. I think it's give... It's either give the name of the user's name and then the amount, or it's give the amount and then the user's name. You can try it. It doesn't always work. Lucas can do some manipulative stuff as well, but he's actually not live right now. He just came back from a trip, a work trip. Why is the lighting so dark all of a sudden? He just came back from a work trip, so he may not be available just yet. I don't understand why it's so dark in here all of a sudden. It's really weird. Let's see. Katie says, hey Danny, I'm having my second annual 12-hour live on New Year's Eve. I'm inviting you to drop in and hop on for 5 or 10 minutes to say hello and share info about your channel. I hope you'll come by. Katie, yes, New Year's Eve. It depends on what time, but yeah, absolutely, 100%. Send me a link and we can work that out. She says it's an open door type of style of live, so that'll be a lot of fun. People just hopping in and out. That'll be kind of cool. Yeah, send me a link. I'll be happy to join. Thank you for the invite. I really appreciate that. This is the table runner we're working on. Let me show you what it looks like. Ta-da. This side is folded here. Give me a sec. There. So this is what it's going to be looking like. It's called... What the hell is it called? It's the title of the video. I don't remember the name of it now. All of a sudden, it's like something pieces. I don't remember. Yay, it worked. Oh, good. I'm glad it because it doesn't always work. But this is what it looks like. And so we're going to be quilting this up today. Basically, I'm going to just be doing like a stitch in the ditch, basically, but it's just over the ditch. And I'm just going to be going around these colored sections here. Is really all we're going to be doing. And there's a lot of stitching, as you can tell. So we're not going to get it done on today's live, for sure. I'll finish the rest of it off camera. But that's what we're going to be doing today. Thank you, Brett46. Charming Prisms. Thank you for that. It was like it completely escaped me. Like, I couldn't remember. So basically, we're going to be starting on this. So I've already got it sandwiched. So I've got my backing here. And then a layer of batting. And then I've got my top. And you always want to give yourself extra space on the sides, because things are going to shift a little bit as you're quilting them. I always try and start in the middle and work my way to the outside. So then that way I'm going to kind of press everything and push everything to the outsides. So that's kind of how I do it. I've safety pinned it. It's kind of hard to see it on camera, but I think I've safety pinned it like every 4 inches. So I have quite a few safety pins, and we'll be taking those out as we go. But yeah, it's a fun little kit. I bought this as a quilt kit. I want to say it was from Stephanie Stitches. I think that it was one of her kits. I think because she sells kits on her Etsy shop, or she used to. I'm not sure that she does anymore, but I think that it was one of her kits. So lots of fun. Lots of fun. All right, so let's get going. I have my quilter foot on, and I have changed out my thread to a light blue thread. I was going to use a white, because a white is probably going to work really well on the front half. But since this backing is a little bit on the darker side, I decided to go with a light blue, because it kind of matches in with these designs, than to go with a white, because I felt like the white was going to be just too bright on this backing. So I'm going to go with a light blue. I have some thread up here in the top, but we may run out of thread on the spool, but I have another one down there that we can use when we're done here. So again, I like to start at the middle, so we're going to go ahead and roll up one of these edges. I'm going to roll it up. Just, kind of eyeball. It doesn't have to be perfect where you start. So I like to start kind of in the middle. So I think we're going to start right about here. Actually, yeah, that should work. I'm going to put that towards the back. Slide this in here underneath. There we go. And then we can go ahead and get started. And basically all I'm going to be doing is going around all of these different designs. So I'm going to be going around all the prisms, basically. The prisms and the little diamonds there. I'm just going to be going around those. And they kind of connect up a little bit together. So I can go around one and then kind of... So I can do all the prisms in this middle row, and then we can kind of move to the outside. So that's how I'm going to do it. Linda, I have not sent out the fat quarter redemptions yet, and that's fine. You said you were missing this morning, so that's okay. I actually made an announcement this morning that all of my shipments are going to be delayed. I'm going to get them out by the end of this month instead of the beginning. I'm going to do either the end of this month or first thing in January, because I'm waiting for my packaging materials. I've purchased them from a friend of mine who works for a company that I was able to get them for a little bit of a discount. So I'm waiting for those to come in. So no, I did not have them mailed out yet, but you will get them. And I've also extended the deadline for memberships so that if you're interested in getting a scrap buster box from me, which you will send them out at least twice a year. It's an 8x8x4 box that's going to be filled with scrap fabrics, whether that's yardage, whether that's pre-cuts, whether that's stuff that we've already cut up, whether that's, leftover triangles, what have you. I save anything that's over an inch by an inch, and I throw it in a stash drawer, and then I take that drawer and I just stuff boxes with it, and you guys will get that. So if you're interested in doing that, you do need to be a member of the channel. There's a button down below that says join. The least expensive membership is, I think, $2.99 a month, and basically it just pays for the postage of that box, because the box to mail it is anywhere between, it depends, they're pretty heavy boxes, so they can be anywhere between $15 to $30 depending on the size of the box. So that's what the $2.99 covers. Creekside Stitches, yes, that's the name of the pattern. Charming Prisms is, but the quilt kit, I believe the quilt kit that I purchased, which was it's Winter Wonderland by Riley Blake. Wow. Riley Blake Fabrics is Winter Wonderland is the name of the colored pieces, as well as the accent fabric, and the backing is all Riley Blake. And this was a kit for me, and I believe I purchased the kit through Stephanie Stitch's Etsy page. I'm pretty sure, but it was a couple of years ago, so please don't quote me on that. But let's go ahead and let's get started. I've got it rolled up here, and we're going to start kind of in the middle. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is I'm just going to be doing a bunch of quilting. I did just buy a new set of gloves, of quilting gloves, which may or may not be, there may or may not be a couple of pairs in my Notions box right now for thimbles, so you might end up getting a pair yourself. But these are quilting gloves. They have been dipped, the tips have been dipped in a rubber. They're a white glove with pink here, stretchy, and the tips have been dipped in a rubber. So they're kind of, so they hold the fabric really nicely. So I just bought a couple of brand new pairs of those, and a couple of them, I think it was I think of like 11 or 12 of them. So I did throw a couple of pairs in the Notions box. So if you're always questioning like what types of Notions I have that I give away with thimble redemptions, pair of gloves could be one. I give away seam rippers, purple things. Sometimes it's extra thread, depending on if I bought too much thread for something. Sometimes it's needles. It could be, thimbles, thread holders, bobbin holders. There's all kinds of stuff in that box. And so every time I have something extra that I know I'm not going to need all of, I'll throw it in that box. And then when you guys redeem your thimbles in for Notions, that's one of those things. Thank you, Terry, for throwing that up there. I appreciate that. If it's not the right pattern, that's okay. At least they'll have a different pattern to choose from. So, but I appreciate you being on top of that for me. All right, I have my slippers on. I'm going to take my slippers off because I don't like driving my pedal with my slippers on. I prefer to be barefooted with my pedal. Okay. I'm sliding everywhere today. All right. Finally, we're going to get moving on this. We're most definitely not going to finish this today. But we're gonna try. We're gonna get as far as we're gonna get with it, is really what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my other glove on. I love these types of gloves because they're really lightweight. They're not very heavy. I've had a couple of other pairs. They were in different colors. The tips on them are all they were like dipped in a rubber, so they do wear out. And that's why I kind of go through them a little bit often. But I really like them. And they really seem to work very well. Now I know a lot of people have made their own gloves, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I'm lazy. I buy my own. So, that's where I'm at. So, okay, let's, turn that on. We did a couple stitches, and I like to anchor these just so they don't go anywhere. Okay. So now we're going. I don't want to go too fast, but I don't want to go too slow either. I'm just doing a straight, I'm not doing directly in the ditch. I usually do just a stitch or two over. So then that way I'm not messing with the integrity of the stitching. But that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm just going right next to it. And since it's a really light blue fabric, or a light blue thread, you're really not going to see it very much. And that's kind of the point, I think, of this type of stitching, is that you don't see it very much. Because, you know, the whole point of quilting is just to keep the pieces together. It's not necessarily to add anything extra to the quilt. Although sometimes it is. Like, it depends on the type of quilting that you're doing, for sure. Hi, Lori. Welcome to the channel. Thanks so much for joining us today. She says, quilt the country. She says, we're keeping her company while she's in her sewing room. Well, you are keeping us company while we're in our sewing room, too. So thank you for that. We appreciate you being here with us. I think I got something stuck somewhere here. Alright, so I am just going to keep sewing along here. You guys tell me, how have things been going? Like, we have so much to catch up on. I haven't seen you guys since before Thanksgiving, so I hope everybody's Thanksgiving went well. Let me grab my box of... Excuse me. Our Thanksgiving went very well. It was funny. Mama Joyce hosts Thanksgiving at her house. And usually I go over there early because I'm only 3/4 of a mile from her. So I usually go over there early to help her cook. And this time I went over there to help her cook. And she says, I don't actually need your help cooking. I need your help sewing. I went, okay. So she was trying to finish up her quilt top so that we could get it to the long arm that weekend. So she actually had me in her sewing room because she had just gotten her machine back. Or no, she didn't have her machine at the time. That's right, because I was using mine. She had me in her sewing room finishing her quilt top for her, which she has since gotten her machine back. For those of you who were following along, she had some trouble with her machine right at the end of our live stream, our last After Dark Edition live stream, and it turned out that the bar here, the presser foot bar, had gotten bent somehow. I'm not really sure how. Oh, look, Mr. Wizard's here. Good morning, Mr. Wizard. I'm waving to you from down the hall. I don't know if he's inside. Mr. Wizard moved his studio inside because it's been so cold. So he's in the spare bedroom just on the other side of the wall here for me. But good morning. He just said good morning. I don't think you guys could hear him. He's literally down the hall. But thank you so much for joining us. He joins every week. He's amazing. He's wonderful. What was I talking about now? He distracted me. Oh, Thanksgiving, right. So instead of helping cook this year, she had me sewing. So I felt a little antisocial because I was kind of like stuck in her quilting room, but it actually turned out really well. My sister got there. She was able to help my mom. My daughters were there, obviously, to help as well. It was good. And so her quilt top was finished. It went to the long arm. Excuse me. So everything turned out well, but it was a bit of a different type of holiday this year than in the past, because usually I'm helping her cook. Now I'm actually going all the way down. Originally I was going to kind of go around, and now I've decided I'm just going to go all the way down one side and then go all the way back. I think that's going to be a little bit more efficient, and it won't keep me spinning it around so much. We can go through this a little bit faster. Some of these pins are kind of in my way, so that's why I grabbed my little pin box to throw them back in. I have all my safety pins in this plastic little box, and I keep them open. I don't close them when I put them in here, because then that way it's easier for me to work with them. So I keep them all open. You do have to be careful when you reach in the box, though, because you might poke yourself, so you have to be careful of that. But otherwise, to me, it's just more efficient that way. because then I can just kind of dump them out and just pin up really quickly. Alright. Spin it round. Kathy's reminding everybody to give a thumbs up. Thank you, Kathy, so much for that reminder. As she says, if you have a spare second and you haven't already done so, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. And if you haven't already, welcome again to our newest subscriber. But if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help the channel out. You know, you guys know we're trying to reach our goal of 750 subscribers by the end of the year. I don't think that's going to happen, and that's okay. That's no problem. We'll just reset the goal for the next year. But if we do, when we do get to 750, I do huge giveaways for subscriber goals. Like huge giveaways. Full size, pre-cuts, yardages of fabric. Sometimes it's an entire quilt kit. Just depends what I've got going on in my stash and when I'm, how excited I am about it. But we usually do really big giveaways for those. So there's a little bit of an incentive to get your friends involved. Just rolling this up here. Go. Put this back down. I do have my quilting foot on, or I'm sorry, my walking foot, not my quilting foot, my walking foot on. Because I find it easier to do projects like this when I'm doing the kind of the stitch and the ditch stuff with my walking foot. And it's pretty quiet. You guys really don't hear it very much. But I do sew kind of slowly. I take my time to make sure that I'm putting the fabric where I want it. And as I'm doing this, my hands are kind of, you can see my hands are kind of spread out because I'm pulling the fabric apart. Like I've got it pretty well stretched before I pinned it. But I'm also pulling it apart just on the machine here itself, just to kind of keep everything nice and smooth. I still end up with buckles every once in a while, or folds. It happens. You know, it happens. I don't have it stretched probably as good as I could, you know, if you were doing it on a long arm frame, but it's close enough. All of the fabric has been starched and pre-ironed before I do my sandwiching to make sure everything lays super flat. Terry says, I finally hit 500 on my channel. Not that I have great plans for it yet. No, 500 is amazing, Terry. Congratulations on that. You know, it took a long time for me to get to 500. So congratulations. 500 is a big deal. It opens up a lot of new things and a lot of new perks on Facebook, on YouTube memberships. But you know, you can do the special emojis and all kinds of fun stuff. Lots of fun. Terry says, I would much rather sew than cook. You win. I like them both evenly. You guys know I have that second channel over there, the cooking channel. I don't advertise it a lot because it was really more for friends and family. Obviously, you guys are friends and family, so that's why I tell you about it. But I don't have any Facebook pages or anything that I advertise on it about. But I do have the second channel for cooking. I've posted a couple more videos on there just recently. Excuse me. But the cooking is another one of my passions. It's one of the things I really love doing. So, yeah, for me, it was a toss-up. It's like I could do either or. Like, it didn't matter to me. Whichever one you wanted me to work on was fine. And since we had kind of set ourselves up with a deadline for the long arm, my mom was like, I really need you to do that for me. You know, I've got other people that can help me cook. I'm like, okay. She's like, but they can't help me sew. I'm like, no, they probably can't. So I went ahead and helped her with that. It's funny, I put this quilt top together 2 years ago. Two years ago? I think it was 2 years ago. And I see so many I don't want to call them errors because they're not really errors. Like, I don't feel like we make errors in quilting. We just, we make it more unique. But there are places where, you know, the corners didn't quite meet up, or, you know, there's probably a cutting thing, or I was rushed, or who knows what the reasons were behind it. But I look at the projects that I made even 2 years ago and the projects I make now, and there's just such a difference in the quality of them, and how much I have learned, and how much better I am at the craft, just because of all the practice and things like that. And so it fascinates me the how much of a difference I can see, like how different things look. So if you're new to the quilting process and you're getting frustrated with yourself because things aren't coming out perfect, or, you know, you're making a lot of mistakes, and again, I don't call them mistakes, but you know, you're doing things not quite according to the pattern. You know, you're putting your own spin on things a little bit, unintentionally putting your own spin on things. That's all okay. It's all part of the process. And that's something that's really difficult, especially for somebody like myself who's a bit of a perfectionist. That was really something that I had to kind of let go of when I first started learning how to do this. You know, and understanding that it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of it, is that the only person that's going to know that it's not perfect is you. You know, like, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, if I'm okay with it, if you know, if I can live with it, then I'm just going to leave it. Hi, Teresa. Welcome back to the channel. It's so great to see you. Terry, yes, I agree with you, Terry. She says she loves it when a quilt has its own personality. 100%. 100%. You know, the way I look at it, patterns are like recipes. They're really just a suggestion. Like, you don't always have to follow them 100%. Yes, there are, you know, it may not come out exactly the way, you know, the picture shows if you don't, or, you know, things like that. But the same thing with recipes. Like, even if you don't follow the recipe like 100% to the T, it just may not come out exactly the way the picture shows, you know? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. No, don't worry about being late. Oh, you have a vertigo? Oh, God, I have that as well. I know how awful that can be. I'm glad to hear that it's not acting up enough to the point where you're able to join us. And I hope that it goes away quickly. But yeah, I suffer from vertigo as well. I completely understand. It's not easy. Not easy at all. A happy accident. That is exactly right. That is 100% true. And it's all about mindset. All about mindset. This is, you know, it's important to remember that this is supposed to be a relaxing hobby. If it starts to become work, or if it starts to stress you out, then it's not a hobby anymore. It's work. Put it away. Find something else to do that brings you joy, and then come back to it. That's always been my motto with this stuff. Is even with the Tropics project, you know, thank goodness we weren't working on it every week, because I was able to kind of clear my mind and move on to something else for a little while and then come back to it. Clear your mind, put it away for a little bit and come back to it. That's the best way to do things sometimes. But that's also why you guys know we don't work on the same project every week. I rotate them in and out a lot. It's the same projects throughout the length of the project, but I'm constantly rotating them because I don't like working on the same thing every time. I just don't like it. It's not my favorite. So I get bored with things really easily, so that's why I just kind of, you know, work on it a little bit at a time and see where we're going with it. For the most part, we work on the same project. We work on a project from start to finish on this channel. I don't usually do a whole lot off camera with these projects, unless I've decided that it's a project that's going to take too many live streams to put together. Like our Resilient project, it seems like we're really only putting 1 or 2 blocks together per live stream because of the technicalities of it. So I will probably do some of that off camera. I have not done any of it yet, but I will probably do some of that off camera after the holidays. Right now, my weekends have been spent binding up quilts for Christmas gifts. Yeah, Terry says I walk away from a project when it feels like work. Yes, absolutely. Sandra, no problem. Thank you so much. She says, have a great day, everyone. She's got to take off. Thank you so much for joining us, even if it was for just a little while. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. We are moving right along here with this one. Like we're only really working on one line so far, but it's working. I go pretty slow. I don't like to sew very fast. I like to take my time with it. The machine sewing is my favorite part of this hobby, so why would I rush through that? Like, why would I rush through it? That's my favorite part of this hobby, is working with the machine, so I'm gonna savor it. I still can't get over how many projects we have finished this year. Like, I am just floored. Like, I knew we were getting a lot done, but I was trying to come up with the thumbnail for the couple of projects that we have at the end of the year here. And I thought about, oh, well, I'll just take little, postage size pieces, pictures of all of the thumbnails of all the projects that we worked on this year. So I started, like, downloading all of the thumbnails from all of our projects that we did this year. Oh my god, there were so many. Like, I couldn't fit them all on a nice little thumbnail and them not look like chaos. So I abandoned that idea, but that's when I figured out that, oh my gosh, look how many we've done this year. Like, it's hard to believe how many we've done. I had no idea. Like, I'm just cranking them out. Like, not even paying attention to how many we had going. So many. Our goal on this channel is always to finish 4. That's the goal. That's what we set. And we did. We started and finished 4 projects. But then we also finished a bunch of projects from last year that we had started as well. So that's how we ended up with so many. And a couple of our cotton cuts projects, like I didn't include the cotton cut stuff in our goals for last year, because I never know if I'm going to join it or not. And honestly, I hadn't planned on joining the Wild West one, but Lucas really wanted to do that one, and I didn't want him to have to do it by himself. So that's why I ended up joining that one. We are skipping Flyaway. We are not doing the Flyaway one, at least not here on this channel, because I already still have so many to do. But we will be most likely doing the one after that. And Mama Joyce has already expressed interest in doing that one with us again. She had so much fun doing it. She has asked if she can join the next one with me again, and I said absolutely. If that's what you want to do, sure. Like, I'm not gonna, if you really enjoyed it, it's, and you had fun with it, for sure, we can do that. So, she'll be back after whatever the next one is, after Wild West ends. Alright, so we have spun around and we're going back down now. At least on this middle row here. They do overlap for a couple of... She had FOMO. That's fear of missing out. I understand that. I can understand that. Like I said, I have so many projects going right now. And I have so many plans of projects for next year that I just don't feel like I'm going to have time for another one right at this minute. Because I want to get started on some other things. So we'll come back to it for sure. I've not abandoned Cotton Cuts by any means. I still absolutely love the company. I love the products. It has nothing to do with that at all. It is simply a matter of I just have too much going on. I have too many other projects I want to get moving on. So that is all it is. Lucas, welcome back, dude. Thanks so much. Lucas is in the house, everyone. Welcome back. I know you were traveling. I figured you were probably sleeping. I heard something about you just gotten home yesterday or the day before. So, welcome back. He was traveling for work. If he wants to tell us more about that, he's welcome to do so. He's back, and I think if I know correctly, I do believe he is back, and he is not alone. I do believe he has a house guest with him for a little bit. I believe Tony is finished school for the season, and I think she is with him at their new apartment. If I've got my dates correct, which doesn't happen a lot, so I could be wrong. Got back at 9 p.m. So that was yesterday at 9 p.m. Oh, wow. Have you ever used Pounce chalk to mark out your quilt design? I am thinking of trying it. Terry, no, I have not. I honestly don't mark out my designs. I've only ever done Stitch in the Ditch. That's something I want to get into. Excuse me. I have not done it yet, and I really need to. Like, I want to start getting into things like that, adding more designs to our stuff. But no, I have not. No. Went to Boulder, Colorado for a week-long training. I have a pest problem at the house right now. Oh my. You mean at the apartment, I'm assuming. A pest problem. Oh. Is it a small pest problem or a really big pest problem? And did you come home to a honey-do list? That's funny. A pest problem. What? Just one pest? Yes, just one pest. Yes, just one giant one, right? That's funny. That's really funny. Not surprising either. Just one. Too funny. Too funny. There you go. Yep, he's got a pest problem. So he'll hopefully be able to tell us a lot more about his trip this week. Because don't forget, we got our live stream on Wednesday. So he'll probably be able to tell us a lot more about it on our live stream on Wednesday when we're putting our Wild West clue together. I think we're on clue 5, if I remember correctly. And just like that, we are done with our middle row. That's pretty cool. A pest problem. That was clever. That was clever. Mr. Wizard deals with that quite often. Too funny. Oh, that was good. Oh. It's funny though because, you know, like Tony's at school right now and Lucas is in the apartment full time, so I'm sure that, you know, she moves things around when he's not there, or when she goes back to the apartment and then she leaves to go back to school and he's got to move him back. That's funny. Just one pest. That's funny. Alright, so there, we've got one row done. So I think we're going to do the big rows first and then I'll worry about the little ones. So I'm just going to shift over here to this one here now and start on this one. That's funny. Just one pest. Lucas said no, she actually did a lot of stuff. She put the backings on the desks and bookshelves and then set up our desks in the guest room and organized everything. So she was bored. Yep, it's all an adjustment. That is absolutely right, Terry. I have had my new kitchen. You guys have seen my kitchen before a couple times on a couple of videos. And I have had my new kitchen for probably 4 years now, and I'm still moving stuff around. Like, still moving stuff around. But I'm glad to hear that Tony was helpful. She wasn't just in the way. She does like to organize things. Both of my girls are very organizational. Best problem. I might keep laughing about that because that was funny. Best problem. Oh, I love it. Susan says, bye. Time to warm up the car and head out for church. Have a wonderful day. No problem, Susan. I did see your message about getting ready to move here soon. I hope everything goes well on that. Packing is never fun, but you know what? Unpacking can be fun. It's like Christmas every day, you know. But I'm glad to hear things are going well. I'm sure we'll catch up again soon. We do have a live stream on Wednesday, I just mentioned, with Lucas to do Wild West, and then there's another After Dark edition on Saturday. I may have special guests on Saturday. I may not. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what project we're going to be working on yet. I think we're going to be putting binding on a quilt. I think that's what we're going to be doing. Terry reminding everybody about that thumbs up. Thank you again, Terry, for the reminder. Lucas, I'm glad to hear that you're home safe. I can't wait to hear more details about your trip. You can tell us all about it on Wednesday when we put together our quilt top, our pieces, our clue. That's what I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for. Our clue. Clue 5 on Wednesday evening, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm pretty sure it's clue 5. Pretty sure. That means we're halfway through already. I can't believe that. It's hard to believe. Already halfway through. Went a little far, so I had to put that one back a little bit. Sorry folks, I'm just kind of focused on sewing here. But Thanksgiving went really well. I have, oh my, what is all this about? I'm not sure what all this is about. I believe all of our Christmas shopping is done. In fact, what I'm going to be doing this afternoon after our live stream is I'm going to start wrapping gifts. Which reminds me, Mr. Wizard, we need to find where the wrapping paper is. I'm assuming it's unburied, but I'm not sure. So we'll need to find that. I might need your help there. But we're going to be wrapping gifts. I think we're just about done. And that's why I wanted to show you guys those quilts, because they're going to go in a box and they're going to be wrapped up today. Terry says you chose the K-Facet Flamingo colorway, an odd choice for myself. It was a beautiful colorway. You know, K-Facet is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. I love the colors. I love the bright colors. But I've always found, or I shouldn't say always found, but for the majority, every one of the colorway or fabric lines for K-Facet, they're just very busy. They're bright, beautiful fabrics. I love bright, beautiful fabrics. But the patterns are very busy. And I'm not a big person of busy patterns. That's just not my... It's not my preference. So I love the colors, but the busyness of it just like I have a hard time with it. That's kind of why I've found that I navigate more towards like a Michael Miller fabric line. I love Michael Miller fabrics because again they're bright, bold colors, but they're smaller patterns. They're smaller. You know, they're not as busy. And that's just my preference. Like, obviously, you know, if you've chosen that colorway, that's one of your preferences, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I think they make beautiful quilts. But even the quilt top that I did, the redwood, that I did for Tony, that's currently at the long arm, even that fabric was a little bit busy for me. Like, I'm not a big fan of the really busy fabrics, because in my opinion, it just takes away from the overall design of the quilt. But again, my opinion, just my opinion. I mean, everybody is entitled to their own, right? That's why they offer so many options. You know? Excuse me. I'm only pulling out the pins if they get in my way of stitching. If they're not getting in my way of stitching, then I'm just leaving them there. Before we trim up this project, which we're definitely not going to get to that today, I don't think. But before I trim up this project, after I'm done quilting it to whatever level I want, then I will trim it up. And before I trim it up, I will pull all the pins out. And usually when I trim it up too, I'll do like a really light zigzag just along the edge of the fabric to kind of keep everything together. Because the edges, I don't do an edge quilting on it. So sometimes the edges kind of get a little wonky on me. So I always do it really close to the edge, like 1/8 of an inch from the edge, just to kind of keep it down so that when I'm doing my binding, it doesn't try and flip on me. That is another thing that I like to do as well. Just what I do. You guys can do your own thing. If you've been quilting for a long time, then you probably know how to do this already, and you probably do it better than I do. But if you are new to the hobby and you're looking for some advice, that is my advice. That is what works for me. It may not necessarily work for you, and that's why there are so many other content creators out there. There's a bunch of them right here in our live stream, and they can help you with that as well. In fact, if one of you could throw up the creator link, that would be really great. The creator link gives you the names of all of our content creator friends that we have here on this channel, and then from there, if you know the first name of one of those creators, you can throw up their name, and it will show up as a link in chat. Both of our moderators, Terry and Kathy, have their own channels. Go check them out. Kelly was here earlier. She has her own channel. I know Dawn is here with us. Dawn has her own channel. Dawn also has a blog as well. She does a lot of patterns. She creates a lot of her own patterns. I mean, we have so much talent right there in our chat window of real experts, true experts. I just pretend to be one on TV. Or the phone, depending on where you're watching this from. You know, and I am self-taught. I am a self-taught quilter. I've learned from the experts in our live streams, in our chat windows. I've learned from them, and I've learned from some of the other major ones. You know, so Becca obviously is one. I've mentioned her name before. Donna Jordan, you know, Missouri Star Quilt Company, Fat Quarter Shop, like all of them. I've learned from them all, as well as a lot of our very own content creator friends as well. Whoops. Yep. Try and stuff it under the machine. I have a little domestic, and it doesn't always work really well for this, but that's why this is about the max size I can go with this, because it just does not work underneath my machine. Some people have asked before if I've ever considered buying another machine or a new machine, and the answer is always a resounding yes. I've always thought about it. Whether I will actually do it, it's definitely not in the budget right now. But it might be in the budget in years to come. Who knows? Right now I have 4 machines. One of them is my everyday. This is my baby lock. This is my baby. She's my everyday. I have a second brother machine that I keep in my closet here. That's my backup. And then I have a third brother machine that's actually out on loan right now. One of my sewing students is borrowing it from me. That one is a very basic brother machine. And then I have I think it's a Kenmore. It's in the basement at Mama Drace's house. I really need to go get it and look at it again. It's been a really long time since I've pulled it out. It was a, standard domestic machine at the time, but it's probably from the 70s. And I probably need to pull it out and look at it because I have not used it. I know the last time I pulled it out, it wasn't sewing straight. And at that time, I wasn't aware enough to know that there were places to fix it and things like that. So I want to look at it again, see if it's worth hanging on to, or if I should rehome it. I don't know. I have to look at it. I should probably do that. I'll probably make that a priority next year to go look at it. But all total, I have 4. I think our moderator, Terry, is up to 25. Right, Terry? You're 25, right? Yes, oil it first. Yeah, Lorraine, for sure. Yeah, it's been sitting for quite a few years. Yeah, it's been sitting for a long time. Put it on your calendar for February. There you go. That is an excellent idea. Now I just have to remember to do that from now until the time. Hi, Marie. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here. She says, I've been here from the beginning, but I'm trying to get some hand embroidery done. Taking a break from that now. LOL. No problem, Marie. You know what? I love my lurkers as much as I love those that are in chat. And I know I don't give them enough attention, and I apologize for that. But I do. I absolutely am humbled that they're here with us, that they hang out with us, because I know for a fact that they're there, and I just want to acknowledge that they are there and say hello to them and welcome them to the channel and thank them so much for watching. Just because you're not part of the chat window does not mean you're any less important on this channel. Right, Terry. Yes, remembering really is the hardest part. That is 100% true. Yeah. That's usually why Lucas takes notes for me and then he sends me emails, except he's forgotten sometimes. Like, he'll take notes for me and then he'll forget to hit send. so then like 3 weeks later I'll get this random email from him that says, oops, sorry, forgot to give this to you. So, it happens. We are all victim to it. So it happens. It's not a big deal. We work through it, we get there. Alright. We're getting there. Why did I think that we were further along than we are, I guess? Oh, there it is. Okay. Marie, you're so sweet. Oh, well, thank you. But no, back to the lurkers on the channel, and especially those who watch the live streams after when they're no longer live. Like, I want to give a special shout out to those people as well. I truly appreciate every single viewer, whether you're here live or not. It's you're still a friend. I do wish that you would leave a comment though. Just so I can actually interact with you, because that's kind of the whole point of this channel, is so that I can make friends and interact with friends. But I also understand that some people don't want to do that, and that's okay. I respect that decision. But I'd love to get to know you better, to form a better relationship with you. I mean, the channel is small enough that we could do things like that. I mean, I'm sure, hopefully, eventually, who knows, the channel might get to a point where I'm not able to do that as much as I would like to. But right now it is, and so I'm taking advantage, and I'm being as grateful as I can for as long as I can. So this pin is in my way. There we go. Patricia says, I sew while listening. I hate to sew alone. Oh, Patricia, I'm with you. I have ADD. Like, I have major ADHD. And so I have to have a background noise at all times. Like, I cannot sit in silence. So one of three things happens whenever I'm here in this room. Either I have a radio going, which I have a black Bluetooth speaker right there. Obviously it's not on right now, but I have a Bluetooth speaker that's on, so I'm listening to music on that. Or I will be listening to, or I'll be watching a television show or a movie. Lots of really cute Christmas movies on Netflix, by the way. Lots of really cute ones. Or I will go on YouTube, and YouTube, you can create a playlist. And so I'll create a playlist of all of my content creator friends, and I'll just start watching all of their videos that they've posted in the last couple weeks, things like that. Or if I can catch a live, I will catch a live. I do watch a lot of my content creator friends' live streams. I just don't participate in chat because, like you, I'm sewing. I'm not participating in chat. So I do need to get better about doing the same thing that I ask my subscribers to do. I need to get better at leaving a comment, letting them know I was there. Leaving a message, letting them know I was there. I need to get better at that myself. So that's why my lurkers, I love you just as much as I love those that are in chat, because I am a big lurker. So I get that. Happy anniversary to Kathy. What type of an anniversary is it? Got around Danny going out for breakfast with Dave for our 35th anniversary. Wow, Kathy. Congratulations on that. That is super exciting. I hope you enjoy your breakfast. Say good morning to Dave for us. And happy anniversary to you both. That is fantastic. Judy says, yay, I got one row done. That is awesome, Judy. Congratulations. You got to take the wins where you can get them. Marie says, I wanted to mention the quilting gloves. I have tried several different ones, from inexpensive garden gloves to the machiner ones, but a couple of years ago I found some that I assume that work, that you like. I really like these. They're like a cheaper knockoff of those cheap winter gloves that you could buy for yourself. They're very thin, they're not very warm, they don't stick to my hands, they don't make my hands sweat, and they have little rubber tips on them. The tips have all been dipped in rubber, a real thin, like lightweight rubber, so they work really well. The rubber does wear out over time. It does, especially if you wash them often. It does wear out over time, but that's why I buy them at like a pack of 12 for like $9 or something, and then I just toss them and get them. Wrap around hand, but keep my fingers free. They're just in the palm of my hand. Oh, yes. So they're just here. They're not in your fingers. Yeah, a lot of people like those. I used to wear those a lot in the winter time for driving. It's all a preference. Just like your sewing machine, just like everything else, it's a preference of what makes you feel comfortable. These work really well for me. I've really liked these. I have used those. I don't like the fingers. Like, I try to keep my fingers clean, but I don't like my fingers on the quilt. I don't know why. I just don't. And so that's just a preference for me. So that's why I have full finger gloves. I've tried the kitchen gloves, like the kitchen rubber gloves, and to me, they're not comfortable. Like, they're so bulky and they just don't fit. Like, these are really stretchy, so they fit really nice. They, like I said, they remind me of a winter glove, but they're not nearly as thick as a winter glove. They're much thinner, and my hands don't sweat in them, and that's, I get sweaty hands. Like, I don't know, it's a whole thing for me, and so I just don't like that, and so that's why I've always really liked these. Rubber kitchen gloves cut away the fingertips. Yep, I've heard a lot of people do that for sure. That is a quick and easy way to do it. The kitchen gloves don't fit my hands very well because I have very thin fingers. I actually have very little hands, and so they just don't fit my hands or my fingers very well. So they just didn't work very well for me. I did try it, but it just didn't work out real well for me. I've heard some people use like latex gloves. Mr. Wizard uses latex gloves for his hobby a lot. I've tried that too. I don't like the feel of that in my hands. It's just not very comfortable. Yeah, Marie, I do too. 100% I do always wash my hands. I wash my quilts and I keep my hands washed and everything else. I think it's just a texture thing. I don't really know. I don't like having it there. I don't necessarily, I can't really explain it. It could be a dirty thing. It could just be a texture thing. I don't know. But I'm just not a big fan of it. I much prefer, and I feel like when I don't have the gloves on, I feel my fingers slipping on the fabric some. So I definitely need something with a little bit of friction to it. But yeah, I've tried a bunch of things myself, and this is what I've found to work for me. And for me, they're very inexpensive, like very, very inexpensive. Garden gloves, I've heard a lot of people use garden gloves. They work really well as well. Kitchen gloves, whatever you've got, you know, like, and you don't have to use gloves at all. I like using them because then that way I feel like I have a better grip on the fabric. I feel like it's not sliding around on me, and I don't feel like I'm pushing it. You're not supposed to push the fabric under the needle. You're supposed to let the machine pull it. You're just supposed to help guide it. And I feel like when I don't have gloves on, I'm pushing the fabric, and I don't want to do that. So everything is a preference. That's why there's so many options out there to choose from. I share with you guys what works for me. Maybe it's helpful, maybe it's not. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Patricia says, I have the same ones. A pack of 10 lasts forever and they work great. Yeah, in fact, I have two pair, and I've had those two pair for probably 5 or 6 years. And I've finally gotten to a point where I feel like the tips just aren't, I feel like the rubber on the tips is worn off. And so that's why I bought myself a new pair. I think it's a pack of 12 for like $9 or something. So I grabbed a couple of them. I threw them in the Notions box. So if you are a thimbles person and you're collecting thimbles and you're trading them in for Notions, you may end up with a glove or two. A lot of times I'll only use one glove, and then the other one is actual fingers. But right now, because the quilt is so wide, I'm using both gloves. So, but a lot of times I'll just use one. Just depends on what I'm doing. Chalk pencils. That's another one that's in the Notions box, is chalk pencils. You guys have seen me use it before, a white chalk pencil for some things, and I keep some of those in the Notions box. Terry says, I have to go. Enjoy everyone have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Yes, you too as well, Terry. Stay warm. I hope it's not too cold over by you. I understand it's supposed to get colder by us. This weather's just been absolutely ludicrous. Like, it went from 50 last weekend to like 5 by Tuesday to back up to 40 yesterday, and now it's going to come back down again. It's just crazy. It's like this thing, this like roller coaster. I never know what to wear in the morning anymore. Like I keep picking the wrong thing. Like I wear a heavy sweater and it's going to be warm. I wear a thinner shirt and it's going to be cold. Like I can't win. To say myself lately. Like I check the weather, but I don't know why I can't manage to figure out what to wear. So I give up. I'll just go with it until the first real snow, and then I'll be fine. And they do seem to be running it a little bit chillier in the office. I'm not sure if there's a reason for that or not, but they do seem to be running it a little bit chillier than normal in the office. So I do have a little heater that sits behind me because I'm in a separate room from most everybody. Not an office, but just a separate room. And it just seems to get colder in that section. So I have a little space heater in there for me. And I seem to be having that on a lot more than normal lately. You would think it would be warmer in that room because, you know, it's basically a closed-in space, but it's not. It's always colder. A lot of it has to do with where the thermostat is at and who controls it. And it's not in my room. I don't mind it so much when it's cold because, you know, you can always make it warmer in various different ways, but I do not like it when it's hot. And when it's hot, it's really uncomfortable. Marie says, okay, break's over. Back to the embroidery. No problem, Marie. We appreciate you being here. We'll talk to you again soon. I knew we definitely weren't going to finish this project on the live stream today. I had no false hopes that we were going to. I think we've actually gotten further along than I thought we were. We still got a little bit of time left for sure, but you know, we're only going to get probably halfway done with it, if that. Probably a third of the way done. Probably only a third. That's okay. This project here will be used as a decoration in my office. My coworker and I have been hanging my table runners. We have this wall that sits in front of our desks, and so we've been hanging the table runners that I make on the front of it, and then adding extra decoration to it to make it look really nice. She's fantastic with decorating. She does an amazing job of decorating. But so my contribution is a table runner, and then she takes it from there and decorates, you know, more on top of it. So that's what the intention of this particular project is, and that's one of the reasons why it's not very Christmassy. It's more wintry, so it can be up there all season. And then that way we can also respect, you know, we don't want to disrespect anyone that doesn't celebrate the holiday or alienate them in any way. So we try and keep things as a winter theme as opposed to a specific holiday theme. Okay. Brat42 says it was 26 this morning and snowing. It's 36 now and raining, and it's supposed to be 50 tomorrow. Yeah, that's about what it did with us yesterday. It was like they called it a wintry mix yesterday during the day. It was right around 32, 33, and then it continued to warm up. By time we left, because Mama Joyce, Sherlock, Cheryl, and I went to a concert yesterday. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, then you probably saw it. We went to a concert yesterday, and by the time we left, the concert ended at 10 o'clock, I think. By the time we left the venue, the temperature outside, it was 39 degrees outside, and it was just pure rain. So the good news, it was not raining really hard, so we didn't have to walk too much in the rain to get to our vehicle, which was nice. But it was still raining, which is always a little bit of an annoyance, a little bit. All right, we are on row 3 now. And we're just gonna keep going. I'm just doing a straight stitch in the ditch going around these designs here. Excuse me, got a little tickle in my throat. Give me a second. Katie looks like she's playing our new gamble game. I don't think we've quite worked the kinks out of that one yet. We're not 100% sure how it works, Katie. Excuse me. So if you are having a little bit of trouble with that, we apologize. It seems like you don't really, like, when you win, you only win what you gambled. It doesn't look like you win any extra. So, like, if you gambled 100, you'll just win the 100 back kind of thing. It doesn't appear that you win anything extra. And then if you lose, obviously you lose it. But it's not like the slots game where you can earn more, you know, than what you gambled. Lucas was still kind of messing with that a little bit, but then he kind of got busy with his new job and traveling and things like that. So we haven't really had the opportunity to dig too far into that one again, but we will try and get that one looked at into the next year. See if we can figure that one out a little bit more. But that's our newer game. We're trying to learn a little bit more about how that one works. The games are through Streamlabs, so we have some control, but not a lot of control over things. So we just kind of have to figure out the rules and how the program works. Yeah, you're not increasing your numbers. No, it's basically just you're earning what you're getting back. So, like I said, we just started working with that one. We haven't really dug too deeply into it. I know Lucas was looking into it, but then kind of got busy. So, it's still a fun game. It's something different to play. You know, you're risking losing thimbles, but not necessarily gaining anything back. So, the slots game is the fastest way to earn thimbles for sure. If you have good luck. if the computer, if the bot likes you, if it doesn't like you, then you know it's the fastest way to lose them too. Excuse me. Two weeks ago, I went to the eye doctor and I ordered new eyeglasses. I'm really excited about it. I found out from the eye doctor, my prescription really hasn't changed at all, which is nice. But I did find out that these glasses here that I've been wearing every day forever are from 2017. They're a little old. Like that explains why there's little scratches on them and things like that. So they're a little old. So I did break down and buy a new pair of glasses. No bifocals yet. Those are you judgers. No bifocals yet. They're coming. They're the doctor. My eye doctor told me that I'm going to be one. He said there are some people whose eyes get better with age, and I will be one of those people. But the problem with that also goes along with I'm nearsighted, so I can't see far. And so as my eyes progressively get better, and I'm able to see further away, that also means that I'm going to end up being nearsighted because there's the level of correction. So I will eventually probably need readers instead of glasses to drive with. So when that happens, we'll have to change my driver's license and all kinds of other jazz. But for right now, yeah. So my eyes get a little bit better. They're I think he said they're a half a step better than they were before. So they're a little bit better. Nothing too major. So, but I'm excited for new glasses. Like I said, it's been a while since I've gotten a new pair of glasses, so they weren't super expensive because I do have vision insurance through my employer, so that did help quite a bit. Because otherwise they were really expensive. But they're very similar to these. I think there might be just a hair smaller, but basically the same shape. And they are a purple, because you guys know I love purple. They're a different shade of purple. These are also purple. You guys can't tell it on the camera, but these are also purple. But those are a different shade of purple. So, excited. You don't think the heist game works either. I know the heist is, I mean, we've set the odds as high as we can on that. So that, you know, you have a better odds of winning that game than anything, than the, you know, the best settings that we could find. But it's still a luck of the draw. I mean, sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. The slots game, I've heard that from some people. They have said that they never win on that game. I'm really sorry. The good news is that every time you participate in chat, you are earning some extra thimbles, not a lot. And as long as you're an active member in the channel, then you are also earning them just for watching too. So you are earning some that way. They're very slow and small, but you are still earning them. But you know, it's just like the lottery. You got to play to win. So for the most part, everybody seems to be enjoying it. I mean, yeah, I get the occasional, you know, I'm never winning comment, but I don't get the I hate this or take this off here, it's crap kind of thing. So we keep it there. Alright. Like I mentioned before, I'm just taking out the pins that are in the way of sewing. I'm not taking out all of them as I go through. Just the ones that are in the way. I'll take all of them out later on. Nice quiet day here in the channel. Is everybody done with their Christmas shopping and their Christmas making? Anybody's making anything for Christmas? Are you guys all done with that? Are you all ready to go? Everything that I didn't make something for everybody this Christmas. I only made some things. But everything that I'm giving away as for, you know, as a quilting gift has been finished. Now it's just a matter of wrapping them all, putting them in boxes and wrapping them. Hopefully they like them as much as I did. You never know. When you give away a quilting gift, you just don't know if that person that you're giving it to is really going to truly appreciate the amount of work and effort that went into it. You hope that they do. But you never know. It's a risk you take when you gift your labors of love away. I've had both scenarios happen. Like, you know, people were, you know, nice enough and grateful enough to receive it, but you can tell that they really had no concept of really what it was. You know, to them it was just another blanket, you know. And then I've had the other people, the other extreme, where I've gifted them things and had to remind them that, you know, it's not a treasure piece. They can use it, like it's functional. Like you can. They're like, oh, I didn't want anything to ruin it, so I haven't been putting it on the bed, or, you know, I didn't want the dogs to be laying on it. And it's like, well, that's kind of the whole point of me giving it to you, was to put it on your bed. Like, it's okay. Like, it's fine. I mean, I get that you don't want the dogs, you know, nails to go through or things like that. I appreciate that, but at the same time, you know, take it out when family are there or something, you know. Whatever. It's fine. It is what it is. Patricia says, I've only been quilting for about 8 months. Don't feel I'm good enough to gift stuff away. Patricia, I understand that. I am the opposite. It's not a matter of whether it's... I've gifted away almost all of my projects. Almost all of them. I have this one here that you guys can see. That was my very first... Cotton Cuts PMQ. That was actually I was just finishing this one up at the start of this channel. So if you go way back to one of the very first episodes of the channel, this one, you'll see this one on there. I kept that one because it's all my favorite colors, but that is the only full-size quilt that I have made that I've kept for myself. Everything else I've gifted away. But I also understand the lack of confidence and the questioning your own skills and things like that. It took me a long time to let go of that fear and realize that I was the only one that knew it was wrong. Like, you know, if the points didn't match up, or this piece was flipped around and it should have been the right way, or, you know, when you're working with the two-tone fabrics, I actually have a table runner that I put on display in my office where one of the pieces is flipped over and it's actually back, like it's the backing instead of the front, because it was one of those two-tone ones that can be hard to do. It's the imperfections that make a project perfect. it's a saying that I have no idea if I've granted that or if I got it from somewhere, but that's the way I look at it. Is it's the imperfections that make it unique and make it a one of a kind, and that's what makes it so special. And so I try to embrace those, like I said, happy accidents, because then, you know, it proves that it wasn't made by a machine, that it was made by a person. You know, if it's too perfect, then somebody could say it looks like it was made by a machine. If there's a mistake in it, or there's a happy accident, then you know for a fact it wasn't made by a machine, and that makes it that much more special. It again, my opinion. I mean, obviously, I understand your feelings on it and your level of confidence on it. I get it. I've been there. I myself have only been quilting for 5 years, 6 years. Longer than 8 months, of course. But the name of the channel. Like, I do not consider myself an expert by any way, shape, or form. Yes, I know a lot more than I did when I first started, for sure, because I've learned, made mistakes, and learned, or learned from you guys. You know, you guys have helped me out quite a bit too, but you know, I don't feel like I will ever be an expert in it, because we're always learning. There's always room for improvement. There's always ways to learn. So. One of the biggest pieces that I really need to do a better job of learning how to do is this free motion quilting. Like, the only thing I know how to do is the straight stitch. It's the only one I know how to do, and even that I don't really feel like is that great. You know, obviously the long arm does a way better job at it than I do. But I do the best I can, and that's really all that matters. My stitches are not always straight, that is for sure. But you know what, that's all okay. Like I said, the imperfections are what make it perfect. So I try really hard. It doesn't always happen, but I try really hard not to stress about it. No, you just keep going. Just keep moving forward. Keep doing what you're doing. And I mentioned it at the beginning of the stream, but just looking at the top on this project, which I made the top on this project 2 years ago, and there are so many happy accidents on the top. It gives me a little bit of anxiety just looking at it. Like, oh my god, why did I think that this was finished? Like, this is horrible. Like, why didn't I pull this out? But at the same time, I look at it and I go, but look how much I've grown. Like, this shows a progression of how much I've grown, how much I've changed. And the only person that's going to see all these, that the points don't match up, or that this one's a little off, or that one's off, the only person that's going to see that is me. And the more I try with my domestic, the more my machine fights back. Yeah, I can understand that. Like I said, this is really the only thing that I am able to do with my domestic. Like, I am so impressed with those people out there, and we've got a couple of them in our channel that are able to do full-on free motion quilting with their domestic machines, and I am just floored. Like, how do you do it? Like, I can't do it. Not with this machine, that's for sure. I cannot do it. The closest I have ever come to a free motion quilting was when I was working on the t-shirt table runners, which is another project that we finished at the beginning of this year. that unfortunately I've already given that one back to the owners, so I couldn't show you guys that today. That's another project that we finished up this year. That was the closest I have ever gotten to an actual traditional free motion quilting, where it wasn't a straight follow along with the lines or things like that. And basically, it was a very, very basic free motion. I was basically doing like a circle all the way around the designs, just to kind of give it a little bit of a lift. I wasn't really doing anything major in the empty spaces. I wasn't like, doing any swirly patterns or anything like that. But that's the closest that I've ever gotten to a free motion quilting on this domestic. And even that was a challenge. Like, I use my walking foot because I feel like that's just easiest for me. I do have a quilting foot for this machine. Never used it. I really want to. Like, I really should. Like, one of these days, I should pull it out with some scrap fabrics and we should just mess around with it. And someday I might do that. But, like, right now I have so many projects that I was working on that I didn't feel like I had the time to play, if that makes any sense. Next year, one of the goals that we're going to set for ourselves is setting aside some fun time. And by fun time, I mean doing things like that, where you pull out some scrap fabrics and you just mess around. Like, you're not even making anything. You're just kind of messing around with it. Messing with all the settings, all the different stitches. Just having some fun with it. And so that is definitely a goal for next year. Something that we're going to try and work towards. We'll set aside some time next year for that. I just stitch in the ditch now, but want to learn free motion as well. Yeah, Patricia, you and I both, and if you stick around on the channel, that's something that we're going to try and focus on next year. We're not probably going to get to a point where we're going to be doing any big projects, but we might do some mug rugs, maybe some placemats. It's probably about the biggest piece that I can do with a free motion. But we're going to learn that together next year. That is one of my goals for next year, is I want to learn how to do it just kind of completely free. And then I also have some templates, like to where you can put a design on things, and I want to try and do that too. So those are things we're going to be learning how to do next year. We're going to learn on our own. We're going to, like I said, we're just going to set aside some days where we're just going to do some fun stuff. Like, it's just going to be a fun day. Just a fun day. So stick around for that for next year. We're definitely going to be doing some of that. It's not always about projects. That's something that I kind of need to be better at with myself. It doesn't always have to be about a project. Sometimes it can just be about turning the machine on and sewing through some fabric. Why did it? Oh, let me see why. It hits a button. Sometimes it can just be about that, and that sometimes I get lost in that. I forget that it doesn't always have to be about a project. It can just be about using the machine. So we're going to do that next year, for sure. What that looks like, how we're going to do it, I don't know yet. We'll get there. We'll get there. Marie says, I love FMQ. I practice on small quilt sandwiches before I do my big projects. I love everything that is handmade. I just appreciate the time people spend to create. Marie, I am with you 100%, absolutely. But, you and I, we make these handmade projects, so that's why we are able to truly appreciate them. I feel like some people that are not part of that hobby, and it doesn't even have to be like sewing and quilting is handmade, but anything handmade. I feel like if you've never done a project like that before, I don't think you can truly appreciate the amount of time and work that goes into it. And some people, that's just not their thing. Some people are not creative, or they don't think that they're creative, or they don't have the time, or they don't feel that it gives them any joy to make things like that. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I also feel like those people are also the ones that don't truly understand the amount of work and creativity that goes into something. Patricia says, I tried to sign up as a member, but Streamlabs is difficult to figure out. It shouldn't be through Streamlabs, Patricia. There should be a button just right at the bottom of the video there that says join. And that's going to be through YouTube, not through Streamlabs. But if you're having trouble, that's through YouTube. It shouldn't be through Streamlabs. Unless you were trying to make a tip. If you're trying to give me a tip, then that's different. But if you wanted to join to be a member of the channel, that is actually through YouTube. I'm pretty sure there's a button that says join. Let me see. Hold on. I got my phone right here. Hold on. If you swipe the... Hang on. I don't know. Like, I'm on the live stream on my phone right now, and I swiped off the live chat. Oh, there it is, down at the bottom. If you're on your phone, like I'm on my phone right now, if you're on your phone and you're in live chat, you're in the chat box. Down all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a box that shows a square with a dollar sign. Click on that, or click on it, listen to me. Touch that, and then there's a box there that says membership, and that's the one you want. If you're on your phone. If you're on the computer, it's a little bit different. I want to say there's a button just underneath the video that says join. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it says. Hopefully that helps. Yes, it can also be a technique that you want to learn how to do. 100%, Marie. Yes, that is absolutely true. Those are all things that we want to learn how to do eventually, someday. Probably not next year. But someday I would like to do a full-size paper piecing project. Like the Legit Kits. Legit Kits? Isn't that what it's called? I want to do something like that someday. It probably won't be next year because they're really expensive and they take a really, really, really long time to do. But I would like to do one day. That's a different technique. That's something different that I've never done before. And I'd like to challenge myself to do that. Legit Kits. Yes, thank you. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I mean, they're beautiful, beautiful quilts. Like, just absolutely gorgeous quilts. And I'd love to be able to do one. But I understand they take a very long time to do. They're not necessarily difficult, but they can be challenging. You know, and it's a different technique. It's something new. It's something different. And it takes a while to learn. You know? We are just finishing up this row here. Marie says, oh, you are braver than me. Maybe someday. Yeah, well, like I said, it's something I want to do. Definitely not something I can do right now. But I would like to give it a try. But at the same time, it's a really big investment because they're not inexpensive for sure. They're very expensive. And so it's one of those things where I really I'd like to do some smaller ones before I get to one of those big ones. You know, hi Shirley, welcome to the channel. You're just catching us here on the tail end here. We're just working on a table runner project. We're just quilting it up here, a little bit of stitch in the ditch, basically. We've gotten 3 rows done. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go, so nowhere's close to done. And I will probably finish the rest of this off camera because we are just about out of time. I try to keep my live streams to about 2 hours. Sometimes they go a little over, sometimes they're a little under, but I do try to keep them. Oh, she says she's been lurking. Oh, well, that's great. Thank you for lurking. I appreciate that. Excuse me. Sometimes they go a little over 2 hours, sometimes they're a little under, but I try to keep them in the 2 hour time frame unless we have a very specific project we're working on. There are lots of content creators out there on YouTube, and I like to keep within my time frame so that you can still go and enjoy their channels as well. I try not to compete with any channels. I try my best anyway. I mean, obviously it's going to overlap at some point in time. That's just how things happen sometimes. But I try really hard not to. Yeah. Oh, this is 2021. So if that tells you guys when this fabric line came out was in 2021. So this is actually 3 years old. I thought it was only 2. It's actually 3 years old. So there you go. I just happened to look down and see that date. So anyway, so I will probably finish the rest of this off camera, or I will bring it back when we're doing a whip or UFO project. Just depends on how it goes. I'd really love to finish this one by January. Maybe mid-January so that I have it out, because in February, obviously, you do your... usually after you take down your Christmas stuff, that's when you bring up your Valentine's Day stuff. I do have a Valentine's Day table runner that I don't think is complete, that I need to pull out of my whips and UFOs to finish as well. So hopefully this one will be finished in the next couple of weeks, but I also have a lot of other things going on, so it's a distinct possibility that this one might end up for next year's project. We'll have to wait and see. I try really hard not to give myself deadlines for things, because there's just so much that goes on, and I've shared this with you guys before, but I am a weekend warrior when it comes to my quilting room. It's very rare that I get the opportunity to come in here during the week, because I get home from my daytime job pretty late in the evenings, and then by the time I've made dinner and sat down and eaten dinner and kind of settled down from the day, it's basically time to go to bed. So there's not a whole lot of time during the week. Obviously we do our Wild West Wednesdays with Lucas, but that's about it for during the week for me, unless there's something really special going on. So that might change next year. We'll have to wait and see. A lot of things are kind of up in the air right now. We'll have to wait and see how things go next year. So we'll get there. We'll get there for sure. But thanks guys so much for joining me today, for working through things with me. I'm so excited for all of the projects that we have finished so far this year. I can't wait to show you guys what's left coming in from the long arm. She has both of our Tree of Life quilts, and then she also has our, forgive me, I can't remember the name of it now. Our Firelight. That's what it is. She has our Firelight project as well. So she has those 3 with her, and then she also has Mama Joyce's quilt, is done. I'll probably be picking that one up. I don't know about today, but probably next week. And then we have Wild West Wednesday is coming up. I'm still working on, you guys can see it over here, my States projects. I've got 2 of them already done. I just have not released the videos. I understand there's a bunch more that are coming to me. I'm still way far behind on those. But that is a project that we are still working on putting together. What else do we have going on right this minute? I still have the gnome projects that you guys, I've kind of teased you with them a little bit. They'll be coming up, and then we've got a bunch of new stuff coming up for next year. I'm really excited to show you. I've kind of teased you guys with a couple of those projects in weekends past. I kind of showed it to you to show you what's going on, but we're going to be working on that too. So we'll talk more about that in a couple weeks. We're going to sit down and we're going to go through our goals of what we set for ourselves for this year and what we're hoping to achieve next year. We'll write that out, because I'm a big goals kind of person. Like I like to set goals for myself, so I have something to work towards. And anytime there's a downtime, I know where to go to figure out what it is that I need and or want to do. So anyway, all right, great friends. Well, thank you again so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. Welcome back to the channel. I don't think we're going to have any more breaks from now until the end of the year. It's going to be really funny. Katie, thank you again for that invitation for New Year's Eve. I will absolutely pop on and say hello to you. So make sure, please send me a link or whatever it is you need to send me, and let me know about what time you want me to be there. Otherwise, or at least tell me what time it's start and finish, so that I know what time to pop in. But yeah, I will most definitely be doing that. I may even do an impromptu live stream the last week of the year because I am on vacation that whole week for my full-time job. So I might, pop on during the day and work on something. Who knows? Just depends on how things go. But, all right, friends. Thanks again. I can't tell you that enough. Thanks again to our new subscribers, our new channel members. As always, it's so great to see you. And I will see you guys again next week. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.